Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan terrorist. So today we are going to read for the mutable signs. Yesterday we read for cardinal. Mutable signs. Now this is mutable energy, so it's you or your person don't have to be have strong mutable placements, but you could be in that energy of mutable modality, which is the way that your modality is the way in which you represent or move in your zodiac sign in that placement, right? So, the 12 zodiac signs, 13, whatever, we'll say 12, are divided into the 4 elements and 3 modalities, right? And so it just kind of, each one of the elements has their own has a modality. So it's like all the earth signs move in different ways, all the fire signs, etc. I do have a lot of congestion, but you could be feeling kind of congested, So something about like somebody putting on a front or being like trying to be comical, or they may present their offer to you. If this is in romance, they may present their offer to you in like in a veiled humor, because they want to like feel you out. Now that gets me into the challenge of dealing with or having strong mutable placements. Mutable energy, they are the observers. They are all about the head and the heart. That constant balance between the head and the heart, between air and water. All right, so cardinal is fire, fixed is earth. Those are the most distinctly masculine and feminine elements. And then air and water are based on the current. So if you think about birds, fish, the way that they move is by the current. It's by the unseen, right? But they also run a lot on instinct. So they observe, and they do have a lot of intuition. They can feel a lot with that water, but then they're always thinking logically. Now, this is beautiful for someone who is in balance and tapped into that and understands how they operate and understands the strength of that. But if somebody does not understand the strength of that, it can be very confusing and challenging to deal with someone like this, or to deal with yourself if you are kind of always in, out, up, down, the head and the heart. You wait for things to be perfect. They never are, because your idea of perfection is idealized. It is not going to... It's rarely going to be matched by the external, right? So there's a constant interplay of trying to understand what perfection means to you and what reality. And in order to do that, in order to create a reality, you need to understand what that reality looks like. So I feel like somebody is dealing with a mutable sign here, or you could have strong mutable placements that are very challenging to this connection. And you are trying to understand it. You're trying to understand, the mutable signs make up most of the notorious serial killers. Right? And the reason for that is because they are mutable, they are malleable, they can adapt and kind of be like an energetic chameleon. They can mimic and mirror very well. But if they don't have a strong conviction, or they don't have strong placements that make them, like somebody, this could be like a fixed sign that's dealing with a mutable sign, or like you have a lot of earth or fixed placements dealing with someone who has a lot of air, water, mutable placements, right? Which is going to be a beautiful balance if you two can get it together. But it can be incredibly challenging, and challenges are not all bad. Challenges are what make us grow. So there's a lot, I feel like there's a lot of room for growth here and self-development through this connection. But I also feel like it is incredibly challenging because somebody, mutable signs often procrastinate. They, again, wait for something to be this idealized version of perfect, which it never is. So it's like, for Virgos, for example, you may have Virgo placements, you or your person, but it's like, if you want something done right, ask a Virgo. If you want something done right now, don't ask a Virgo. Ask somebody else, because they're going to do it when they're damn good and ready, first of all. If you're dealing, especially romantically, with a Pisces, that is incredibly challenging because they are the dreamers and they're half in, half out. You think like a fish. They're very skittish, right? Getting them to, and again, you can't get anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. They have to be able to do it themselves. They have to want and have the desire to do it themselves. Geminis are these, they are the twin, right? They are the twin. Within themselves, they have this kind of extreme duality that usually only other Geminis understand. So somebody may have Gemini placements, but we're dealing with the lover's energy. So if you're dealing with a love connection with a Gemini, good luck. Like, taken. Good luck. I don't know what Liam Neeson's sign is, but I feel like he could be mutable. He seems like a mutable sign. And then Sagittarius. They are very inspiring and exciting, and they are go, go, go. They're curious about a lot of things, but they also kind of fizzle out on their excitement in certain areas. They're like, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. Okay, what's this? I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. So there is that kind of push-pull, and Virgos are very rarely going to express themselves. They are the hermit. They are closed off. It takes a lot to earn the trust and the investment, the willingness to invest for long term from any mutable sign. Which, they're intellectual. There's a strategy here. Yeah, somebody's holding their cards. Page of Pentacles. Could be a Virgo, but it's somebody in that energy that's very slow. They want to do this right. Now, those are all the challenges. Okay, let's talk about the benefits of being with someone who is mutable and dealing with mutable energy. Is, again, they are extremely malleable. They are adaptable. They are curious about a lot of things. This is someone who's going to ask questions. They're going to be inquisitive about you. They want to get to know you. They like to get to the bottom of things. Virgo is that why kid of the zodiac. They need to know how things work. Why? So this is somebody who I feel asks a lot of questions. So if you don't like questions, don't deal with a mutable sign. If you don't want someone to get to know you, don't deal with a mutable sign. This is someone who's going to want to learn everything about you. 7 of Cups. They're going to want to know what fulfills you, what excites you. And this is also somebody who, mutable signs are very exciting in the sense that they're always curious about a lot of different things. When they hone in on something that they are genuinely invested in, they can be so loyal because they've figured out that balance between the head and the heart. So they've looked at it. They're the overthinkers, the overanalyzers. They're the ones who have looked at every possible angle of like why this person is good for them or not good for them. This is somebody who, if they have created a manifestation list or an idea of the type of person they want to be with, they're not going to settle for anything else. Now, the thing about mutable signs, because they are so malleable, they can be impressionable. So they tend to stay in connections or deal with things that are not fulfilling, because it's like, better stay with the devil you know. Someone could have Capricorn placements. Page of Swords. See, and it was covering up at the bottom of the deck This is someone who is hiding their feelings. They've been disappointed by love. They've been hurt by love. Their heart has been broken many times. They've been disappointed because they have over invested in things. So this is someone who's going to look at, again, every possible angle, especially this coming out in the masculine side, before they come in to pursue you. So feminines, this might be the challenge here. Speaking as a divine feminine, this could be the challenge here, is that this masculine is taking their time, and you want them to take their time. You don't want you don't want to try and put someone on your timeline, because that's conditional love. It's unfair. It's not going to be divine timing, right? Divine timing is free. It's based on free will, right? 3 of Pentacles. They're gathering information. They're asking their spirit team. They're asking their friends. They could be like bouncing. You know how someone will say, oh yeah, my friend is dealing with someone, or my friend likes this guy, this girl, this person. What do you think about that? You know, it's like they're asking people in a roundabout way. This is someone who's very romantically precarious, right? They are, which again, once they do invest with the Page of Pentacles, this is someone who has a solid offer, because they've looked at every possible angle of why this wouldn't work. Like, and each time they look at this feminine, I feel this masculine is like, oh, like that knocked down that brick in the wall. Another brick in the wall, Pink Floyd, right? All in all, we're just another brick in the wall. And I was gonna say this person could be working on their money, because it's like that money. And the Wheel of Fortune was out. And again, none of these cards, this person is not showing their cards because they are hiding in this deck. But they're coming out, but they're coming in reverse. They have to walk away from something possibly. They could still be emotionally invested in something else. That is the challenge. With the water here, could be someone could have Pisces placements. And with the Wheel of Fortune, that is fixed energy. So yes, somebody is going to take their time, because it's like they know that when they lock down, and a Pisces, Oscar Isaac, in Life Itself, she's like, when are you going to ask me out? And both of them are Pisces, actually. I think they're like a day apart, their birthday. And the letter O is important here. Office Space, O. Somebody really wants to get, I want to get freaky with you. I apologize for my congestion, because my voice is irritating the shit out of me right now. It's like, and this could be someone who's very hard on themselves. They're like, oh, I hate the sound of my own thoughts. They could be wanting to record a message. They could send a voice message, or they could be doing like voice messages through text, or some sort of social media, some sort of message like that, where it's their voice, and they don't like the sound of their voice, so they don't want to sound whiny, but it's like they feel such a strong, with that, oh, I'm getting like obsession. So in Life Itself, it's like, and Life Itself is, I mean, the premise of that film is Olivia Wilde's character is telling her partner, Oscar Isaac, when she's in school, she's like, and she's doing something very literal or scientific. I don't remember what her degree is, but she starts to philosophize it. So this is someone like in that like Piscean energy of like being very philosophical. So this is someone who's a lot of what ifs. And I have in the last couple of readings referred to the film What If with Daniel Radcliffe, and still don't know her name. I do know her name, but I can't, it doesn't come to me, and I forget it every time I go to say it. But the movie What If with Daniel Radcliffe, I believe he might be a Sagittarius. I think he's a mutable sign, but it's like Oscar Isaac says to Olivia Wilde's character, she's like, are you ever going to ask me out? And he's like, when I ask you out, there's nothing else. Like, this person knows they're going to have to leave behind everything. They're not going to be able to ponder on past connections, the what ifs, the whys, why did it not work? And even though that is what this person wants, they don't want to ponder the past. They don't want to be connected to the past, because the past again, with that Three of Swords, it hurt them. It broke their heart. It broke their spirit, I feel. However, it is 8:33. I just got a voicemail. So yeah, someone could be leaving a voicemail and then they're like, shit, why did I send that? Or like, oh, I hate the sound of my voice. Or like, they don't want to sound needy. They don't want to sound desperate, but they do also feel a sense of kind of desperation because they're like, this person is everything. Like, they're just checking all the boxes. This person is my perfect person. I did not think this could even exist. And here they are right in front of me. And I can see them. And I can smell them. And I can, like, I don't have to imagine this person anymore. However, ruminating on the past is a very mutable trait. And it's, you know, people, because they are the overthinkers, it's like, could I have done something differently? This is someone who doesn't want to offend you. They do not want to hurt your feelings. They're very cautious about, this is a very hyper cautious person about how they present themselves to the people around them. And it's like, you know, they might have some kind of shadows or something that they're insecure about, or things that they don't like about themselves. They're afraid that are going to come up. Mutable signs can also be kind of secretive for that reason. Let me go ahead and pause. I'm heating up leftover pizza. So, they can be kind of secretive for that reason. And that is like, I'm getting like a poker face. Lady Gaga. She is Sagittarius. Bop, 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 poker face. This is someone who has a good poker face. Or maybe they think they do. We're going to check with the feminine side because this masculine is really funny right now. They are very, they are guarding their heart. Julianne Hough, is she a Taurus? I feel like I saw that she was a Taurus one time and I was like, cool, because I like her. I'm gonna swallow my pride. I'm gonna harden my heart. Yeah, this person has hardened their heart so much that they're like, oh, I have to soften my heart for this person, to be open to this person, because this person deserves it. Like, they find you feminine, this masculine finds this feminine to be very deserving of this open-hearted love. But they've done so much work to do the opposite because of their past, their history with love. And this probably started very early on in childhood. Someone who felt neglected, felt like left out. Because there's Four of Cups, I'm getting someone who feels left out. You know, like, I'm not getting my cup, I'm not getting my thing. And I think that probably started in childhood where they were just sort of, you know, they could have had siblings. If they're an only child, if they were an only child, I feel like they didn't make friends very easily. They were misunderstood a lot. And if they had other siblings, they were kind of like, they could have been a middle child, but they were like the one who was kind of pushed to the side. And very misunderstood. That's just what I'm getting. So this is someone who is like, wow, this person understands me, but also, like, that's terrifying, because if they understand me, that means I can be my full self with them. And if I'm my full self, that means I have to accept agape love, unconditional love. And I've never experienced that before, so I'm terrified. But I am getting like that they are very strategic feminines. What's going on here on the feminine side? The Chariot in reverse. Yeah, this feminine, see how the Chariot represents the heart space. Following the heart, going after what the heart desires, and it's armored up, it's coming out. This person wants your unguarded heart, masculines. Chariot in reverse. And it's making this feminine guarded as well. They feel breadcrumbed. This could be the past energy of the feminine. Maybe they've dealt with very guarded masculines. They've dealt with breadcrumbing. They've begged. They've maybe had like an anxious attachment, right? And this masculine definitely feels like an avoidant attachment. King of Wands. In the mutable energy, that could be could be Sagittarius. Someone can have strong fire placements. But the King of Wands goes after what they want. The Magician. Okay. Feminines. This is the Magician in the upright, so I don't feel like it's black magic, but I feel like you have been maybe doing love spells. Maybe not on this particular person, but you've been doing love spells. And it's like you as well are going to receive this Wheel of Fortune. You're going to receive all of the abundance, all of the things that you asked for. You might both be representing as avoidant attachment and anxious attachment. Maybe you guys both, because you were both had very similar childhoods of being left out, being misunderstood, being neglected, being conditionally loved. Maybe you chased your parents for that validation, then you chased lovers for that validation. You were always looking for mentors. You were always looking for somebody to look up to. But then the Magician represents as somebody who had to figure it out themselves. They had to learn the hard way. They had to take the scenic route. They had to just like pull from their shadows, because this Magician has these shadows looking here, which represent like your ancestors, represent your spirit team, looking down, looking in, checking in on you. You've definitely been divinely protected though. So if you are struggling with that, like I never get what I want, practice gratitude, express gratitude. Judgment. I feel someone that's like, why, if you're looking when you're doing your shadow work or when you've done your shadow work, I think you've looked at past connections and you're like, why did I do that? Why did I choose that person? Why did I settle for that? Because you did. Because you didn't feel worthy of anything better. You didn't feel worthy of this person. But this is someone you've been praying for. Taurus energy here with the Hierophant. So you've done a lot of work on, and there again, the knees are locked here. So I feel like there's been some spiritual celibacy or like a lot of restraint, right? That the knees locked here in prayer. There's been a lot of restraint, possibly sobriety, trying to cleanse yourself of the shadows so that you can follow your intuition. Because that's why the Chariot is in reverse. That's somebody who doesn't follow their heart. That's somebody who is scared to go after what they want. But then with the King of Wands, it's like, you have to be willing, feminines, you have to be willing to go to receive what you want, because the Queen of Wands gets what she wants. And feminine receives, masculine provides. Feminine heals, masculine protects, right? That's just energy. And so if you want this King of Wands, you have to be in the Queen of Wands, which is someone who's very self-empowered, someone who feels attractive, and not just physically, although the Queen of Wands is someone who is typically externally attractive. But beauty comes from the inside, right? So that attractiveness comes from the inside. It's something that's that confidence. Like if you walk down the street dressed like a hot mess, I mean, somebody could be dressed to the nines and be beautiful, but they're a lot of the most beautiful people, or physically, aesthetically pleasing, attractive people, are incredibly insecure. And then they end up getting like surgeries and messing with all of this to try and meet some sort of external validation. But when you're internally validated, you exude beauty, you exude that confidence, that creative sexual energy of the sacral chakra, which you could have scorpionic placements, or check your Pluto placement. You two could have the same Pluto placement, or like have like similar placements in your chart that line up. The Matriarch of Shields, that is the Queen of Pentacles, and then we have the deer in the back there. Rudy. Who is that? Samwise Gamgee. Sean Astin? Is that? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Tell me why I'm challenged with his name right now. He's in Toy Soldiers. That's where I really got to know him. Which is like the kids Um, somebody could be like worried about their physical appearance because he was like ripped in Toy Soldiers, and then he's, he's chubby in the Lord of the Rings. But I have seen so many people and talked to plenty of females who look at Samwise and they're like, that's my man, like they're very attracted to that. So like they're attracted to that dad bod, whatever, that hobbit, big hairy feet, because of his character, because his character is so solid. He is fiercely loyal to Frodo. It's like and he would just do anything. And I feel like that's how this masculine is. This masculine would do anything for this feminine. Because we have the Ace of Cups. It's like, and I'm also getting like the Raptor Claw, which is like, this person could be good with children, because I'm getting, maybe they didn't want children, because I'm getting Jurassic Park where he has the Raptor Claw. Dr. Grant, where he has the Raptor Claw and he doesn't want children, but he's like actually really good with children. So this is someone who, again, with that poker face, they represent as being like cold or stern or strategic or all head and no heart. But this is a big vessel. Like, look how big this is not just a cup. This is a jug. This person has a huge heart. They're very generous, very kind. And I with that King of Wands and the Ace of Cups, Ace of Vessels, this person is just like they're a fierce protector. They're fiercely loyal, because the King of Wands is a protector. And see, this King of Wands here is represented with children. Somebody could have children, or they secretly want them, or they like work with them. They could be like a teacher or a coach. Maybe because, like where I was saying, somebody may have always looked for a mentor. It's like this person became the mentor that they never had. The Matriarch of Shields is that Queen of Pentacles. Someone could have strong earth placements. That could be Virgo here with the mutable. But again, that could be that feminine representing in the fixed energy, grounding this masculine. And then there is with the Deer, that's Gemini, right? So it's like they're lovers right there. And even though this is the Matriarch of Pentacles, this is the Queen of Pentacles, it kind of looks like she's fanning herself. So it's like her lover is like, there's a lot of heat coming off this masculine for this feminine. And so there's like a secret Queen of Wands here. But this is a very grounded. So someone could, like, this masculine could feel a lot of chemistry, but this feminine is like, they're fanning themselves. They're like, cool it down. They're keeping their cool as well, this feminine. Smoke signals. Yeah, I feel this feminine's been doing a lot of spiritual work. To call this masculine in. They've been sending out like SOS. Because we've got this masculine here. This is the Eight of Wands. And this means, see this path to this mountain, which is like Mordor, Mount Doom. It's like the smoke signals. This feminine is like, help, help. Sending out an SOS to the world. So there could be a physical distance here, but the world is like an ending. Like something has to end, which the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Cups is about walking away from. Well, the Eight of Cups is choosing yourself and walking away from something that is emotionally unfulfilling or dissatisfying. And then the Eight of Wands is going toward what is satisfying, like what you want. That's that King of Wands going after what they want. But they kind of look like they're in a contemplative energy. Like they see that the feminine needs their help, but they're not like rushing over there. It's not like the Knight of Wands or somebody with that energy, justice, karma. There could be some sort of legal thing that needs to come to an end, or there could be some sort of something karmic that has to end, because justice, Libra energy is about endings. as well. And bringing balance. They want to come in balanced. I think this masculine thinks they're more balanced on their own, but they're wrong. Because you can fill that big old cup up, that big old jug of love, but if you have nowhere to pour it, it's gonna overflow. It's gonna cause emotional instability, or it's gonna bust out of that. I feel like this masculine's gonna like bust a move. Ace of Swords, yeah, there's that communication. Okay, so this masculine might not feel like they have clear signs to come in towards this feminine. They're seeing the smoke, and it's like where there's smoke, there's fire. So it's like they know that this feminine, again, is like fanning themselves. And they might, you usually have smoke whenever you put a fire out with water. This masculine, because their heart is so big, because they have so much love and emotion for this feminine, they might be afraid that they're going to overdo it. They've overdone it in the past. They didn't overdo it in the past, but that's what they're telling themselves, because the people that they dealt with couldn't handle their love. They couldn't handle their muchness, right? The Mad Hatter, and Johnny Depp, the name Johnny could be important here, JD, but he's a Gemini. So yeah, and Gemini represents the lovers. If you don't have those you or your person don't have those placements, that Gemini energy is the lovers, right? And so like with this deer kind of circling this matriarch of pentacles, of shields, also there's a shield here, so there is like a guarded energy here, because this feminine's like, yes, I have the heat and the passion, but this masculine has to come in correctly. And correctly to the feminine does not mean hold back on your muchness. That does not mean pretend that you're something else. They want authenticity, because you cannot invest in a false narrative. You need to know. And the false narrative is also back to the movie Life Itself. It's the unreliable narrator. Life itself is an unreliable narrator because it's always changing. It's unpredictable. And that's where mutable signs get caught up, because they don't like unpredictable. Like they want it to be, excuse me, that was disgusting. They want it to be figured out. And you can't figure out love. You can't figure out life. You just have to kind of go with it and adjust accordingly. But remember, mutable signs, or if you are in that energy, you are masters of adapting and readapting and readapting and blending in and reblending. And it's like getting the color right. Somebody could be a painter, or like getting the color right. Which is also like putting on a mask. I'm getting like the Joker, like putting on his mask and like getting the colors right, getting the face right, this is a feminine. You could always like feel like you need to leave the house or like present like perfect, put together. Maybe you were raised by a very vain parent, right? Particularly a feminine, if you're the feminine. Masculines, you could, again, there's something about not feeling pretty enough or attractive enough, and not presenting in a way. There's something about masking your authenticity. This person wants to see you. Maybe they have seen you, but it's like they want to see you, messy hair, no makeup. Like, they love your body. That reminds me of a couples retreat where, I don't know his name, but the larger gentleman, when they're doing the exercise, he's the black comedian. Oh gosh, he's so funny. I don't know his name. Anyway, couples retreat. Whenever they're doing this exercise where they all have to face their partner, and then they have to strip down to like their underwear or whatever. Well, he's like, I'm not wearing any drawers. I don't want to, he's not comfortable with his body. And the Marcel, Monsieur Marcel, maybe somebody's French here, but it's like, he's like, he's like, tell him that you love his body. And she's like, I love your body. Like, she does. Like, they have, like, freaky, they have their little freaky affair and whatever. Like, his body's not a deterrent for her, but it's like a deterrent for him to express himself, to really, like, truly emotionally and physically strip down and be nude and be exposed. And he's like, of course, so powerful, layer upon layer of dormant, relaxed muscle, like waiting to pounce on his quivering prey, like it's like the funniest thing. But it's like this person finds you so attractive, both of you, and I think both of you are struggling and mirroring each other in this little bit of like insecurity. And I think it could be different insecurity. Like somebody could be more like physically, I don't look the right way, I don't present in the right way, I need to like watch what I say, and I can't be myself because I've never been able to be myself because I was always so misunderstood before. Or like, go to your room. I see someone like, go away, you're too much, Your muchness is not too much for this person. They want you to express your fullest muchness, and they not only like will let you, but they want that. That's what this feminine really wants as well. Like, so yeah, it's like this masculine is afraid that they're gonna like be too, like they're looking at a volcano. They're afraid that their muchness, their heart is too, they're gonna pour too much water on a freaking volcano. Are you kidding me? Like, no. This is a volcano, right? Damien Rice, I don't know his sign, but Damien Rice, he's like the song Volcano. And my favorite song by him is Delicate. I mean, I like most of his music, but I love Delicate. And that's something about this love. It's like, maybe you're not into PDA, public display of affection, but we have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So that like, there's going to be a lot of like hot communication as well. There's a lot of passion, but again, see the sunflowers, it's a growth. And the sun represents the happiest card in the deck. Like it's the happiest energy. So there's a ton of happiness to be had here, but there's going to be communication about it. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but it's like maybe somebody's like afraid to talk about it. They're afraid to talk about their fears. But with this person, you're going to be able to, because that's what you've always wanted, and the universe is delivering with the Wheel of Fortune. The universe is delivering your person to you. Everything that you've asked for. Everything that you've conjured up in the dark spaces of your mind, your room, in your isolation with that Magician, that Virgo, Gemini, and Taurus energy. And then we have the Hierophant to clarify Taurus. So I do feel like there's Taurus energy here, which is about traditions. It's about longevity. It's about investment. It's very sensual. They're the most sensual zodiac sign. So there's a lot of passion, but I feel like it's going to be behind closed doors. You guys are there's something very delicate and precious about this love that you feel like you need to protect it. But again, maybe you were in connections before where it was all performative, right? You had to look a certain way, you had to act a certain way, you had to behave a certain way, and it's like but behind closed doors, there was like no substance. There was no communication. The passion fizzled out. And it's like, maybe you didn't understand why that was because this person was so externally hot, or you were so, you were presenting in the perfect way for them. And it's like, they still discarded you. They still rejected you. They still didn't want you. Maybe they abandoned you. Like, I feel like all of your abandonment and rejection wounds are going to be really healed and nurtured with this person. And I love that for you. Let's pull one more from this. The Hermit. Let me clear my throat. Yeah, it's like the Hermit is like, you have to come out of this hermit mode. You've created this perfect little bubble that you think works for you, but you're lonely. You're lonely. Now, solitude is far more fulfilling than being surrounded by people that don't understand you, that don't align with you. But then it hits a certain point where it's like, okay, but it's time. It's like with the Wheel of Fortune, the universe is saying, it's time. And your person is calling out to you, masculine, like, it's time. The time is now. Yeah, Three of Wands. They're moving. They're coming. When they come in, they're gonna come in right. They're gonna come in fully. Ten of Cups. Yes, they're going to give you your Ten of Cups, feminine. And the Ten of Cups is the most love that you can give to anybody else. This is muchness. Like, look at this. This is a beautiful family. This is like the type of love that continues to grow. This isn't the type of love that's like, there's a lot of passion, a lot of nurturing, a lot of connection. It's very sensual. It's very beautiful in all that water energy. But it is not that lustuous passion that fizzles out so quickly. And that's why we didn't get the Knight of Wands. Because we weren't meant to. This is not that type of love. This is the type of love that you can be sitting on your porch or your stoop or whatever, and this person's going to be sitting right next to you. You have like a body double. This is your body double. Like, this is like, it is your twin. So it's your body double. You are going to be, maybe you like that. Like, your love language could be like quality time, where it's like, you just want someone around you. And you've, that might have made you act out of a codependency for a while with that anxious attachment, because it's like, you wanted to be near your parents. You wanted to be near your siblings. If you were an only child, you didn't have siblings. So you were like, you always felt alone. And if you did have siblings, they didn't understand you, or you weren't compatible. You weren't aligned. And there's maybe competition, right? You could have had a narcissistic parent that fueled that sibling rivalry. But there was some sort of competition where it was just like, so you were like, I just want to be alone. But you never wanted to be alone. It's just easier to be alone than it is to be rejected, to be misunderstood. The giveaway dance, which is Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles has come out twice. So it's going from that breadcrumbing, feminines. It's going from this breadcrumbing energy. And masculines, maybe you operated out of this where you were just only giving little bits of yourself. But this is what you were withholding. You were withholding the number 6, which is agape love. It is that reciprocal love. Here it is, the giveaway dance. You're not just giving it away. Give it away now. But you give wholeheartedly. I do feel like both of you are very generous. Generosity of spirit. The family stone. Somebody could be getting a ring from their parent. Someone could have like a sick brother. Excuse me. Diane Keaton, not Diane Lane, but maybe Diane Lane is of significance here. I think she's a Libra. And Diane Keaton is a Capricorn, but she passed on October 11th. So she died in Libra season, and Capricorn and Libra are cardinal signs. So anyway, there's a lot of that, like, go, go, go. And fire energy is performative because it is of the 3D and it's all action. I mean, that's what it is. So it can tend to, maybe you had like a superficial narcissistic parent, someone who was grandiose, someone who was like a communal narcissist, who they were like very generous. They represented as being very generous to the community. But again, behind closed doors, nothing, nada. So everything in your life, I feel for both of you, was always very externalized. So you're like, I'm just going to go within because it's real in here. It might be lonely. It might be kind of like, I might go through tough periods in the darkness, but you know what? I understand the darkness. I understand my isolation. I understand myself. And I just don't want to give my energy away anymore because it's fruitless. But here, there's a ton of growth, right? And the giveaway dance is like, this is reciprocal. You're going to build this rich community with each other. just by living in your love. Living in your love. I love that. That sounds like a song. Maybe it needs to be. Maybe somebody's a songwriter or needs to write songs. There, with the Magician and the Hierophant here, there's a lot of throat chakra work here, which is quite mutable, right? It is mercurial. So something about messaging, communication, that is Gemini and Virgo, and then Taurus is ruled by the throat chakra. So there's a lot of throat chakra work here, speaking up. And I feel like it's like you hate the sound of your voice. You hate asking for help. You hate expressing yourself. It's like, ugh, I hate the sound of these things. But that's not you. That's somebody else that told you shouldn't do that, told you to shut up, told you to go away, told you to, be quiet. And this person wants to hear everything. This person adores you, and like they hang on every word you say. But they're also okay with the Hermit here. They're also okay with you just sitting in silence together, which is the best type of togetherness, where you can just be in the same space, where you can just share space. You don't have to say anything, because with all this water, you're so connected that you just feel what the other is feeling. So you're both probably empaths. You've inherited a lot of energy from other people, which is exhausting. So that's why you're both in this hermit mode of just like, I'm just going to wait for my person. Masculines, sorry to tell you, but you're coming out as the Emperor, and masculine energy pursues. It is the active energy. It is of the 3D. You are the master of the 3D. So if you want this to happen, you have to make it happen. All right? 3 of Wands. That's the 3D. That is action in the terrestrial reality. The feminine's been doing a lot of work in the 5D, in the celestial reality, to call this in, to call you in. This feminine has been doing their part. Masculines, it's time to bring it together. That's what makes not all twin flames come into divine union, but all divine unions are twin flame. So that is the divine union, is when the masculine brings it into the 3D, when they make this 5D reality a 3D reality. And that's what needs to happen. So will you, won't you? That is up to you, because we all have free will. But, I mean, you'd be a damn fool to not be the fool here, to not take this leap of faith, masculines. Because this is your person. This is what you asked for. This is what you dreamed up. This is what you conjured up. And they've been conjuring you too. So, like, make your move. Make your move. That's the only way you're going to know for sure. That is another challenge of mutable energy, is like they will project their worst fears onto the outcome of, like, they'll assume, it's, so cardinal energy just kind of like, cardinal energy is something else, because it's like, it can be quite selfish, self-serving, right? And if you got cardinal placements, like, deal with it. Fire energy can be quite selfish, but fire is like the thing that people surround, right? The greatest source of fire is the sun. That's why Leos tend to be a little narcissistic, right? I'm a Leo rising, okay? They tend to be a little bit, because they are so naturally attractive with all that wands, all that fire energy. People just naturally are drawn to fire. So fire's kind of like, I don't really have to do anything outside of myself, because everybody's coming to me. Everything comes to me. Like, they attract everything to them. And so they can be quite egoic, right? They can have a pretty strong ego. It's not a bad thing, because that's what builds the Emperor. That's what builds that confidence, right? But that is the challenge of fire energy, right? And cardinal energy. Fixed energy, they treat you how you treat them. So they are the ones who will kind of be tolerant and throw you. It's like they'll give you the rope to hang yourself with, right? Once you do, they're gonna treat you exactly how you treat them. And people are usually like, wait a minute, what? Where's that super generous person that was giving me everything I wanted? They're gone now, because you didn't reciprocate, right? Mutable energy will treat you how they think you're going to treat them. So if they are not in a like generous place, if they are not in a grateful place, a place of gratitude and grace internally, they're going to assume that everyone's out to get them. They're going to, just like a fish or a bird, they're very skittish. You like walk by a bird, they're like, ah! And you're like, I wasn't even going to mess with you. Like, calm down, you know, but they're like, ah! And then maybe crows could be important. I'm getting a lot of Libra energy here. So there is something about like a karma and balance, feeling balance. And that's the balance between the head and the heart of the mutable aspect here, possibly. But, and then fish, you know, they're just like, hoo, hoo. And I'm getting Fantasia where the fish are like, kind of like flirting with they're breaking the fourth, it's called breaking the fourth wall in film, but I'm getting like breaking the fourth dimension. So that's what the fourth dimension is. It's the merging of the fifth and the third, the 5 and the 3D, which is like that Taurus Hierophant energy. It's the merging of the celestial to the terrestrial, right? It's like the mediator. You could be a medium. You get I'm getting a lot of information here. So like I'm getting a lot of infiltration, inherited energy, and I feel like you're just kind of exhausted. But if you base your assumptions, or if you project past energy or your past experiences, or like you're like looking too far into the future of like all the things that could go wrong, you know, which is like anxiety. Anxiety, isn't that fun? Then there's worry and anxiety. It's like thinking, it's like ruminating on the past, or, you know, projecting what will happen in the future. And it's always the worst case scenario. If that's the place you're operating out of, you're going to sabotage this love, right? So don't do that. If you want this love, knock it off. So there's like a need to get into a place of acceptance, grace, and gratitude with the self, so that you project the best possible outcome. And just with that Page of Pentacles at the center, it's like move through this at your own pace, because this person will let you. Not only will they let you, they want you to naturally come to them. They want it to be organic. They want it to develop. They're not going anywhere with all that pentacle energy. They're not going anywhere. Like, they are there to stay, which is like, I do not condone fishing, of course, but maybe this is like someone who's feeding the fish, right? You're sitting on the dock and you're just like, if you sit still, right, with bird seed or fish feed, they'll come to you, right? Sandhill cranes could be important here, or like maybe you have bird feeders, or you love bird watching or something about that, or like sitting out feeding the squirrels or the fish or whatever. Like, I feel like you are kind of like, you have like an inner masculine or feminine, you have like an inner fairy princess, right? Where you're just like, oh, and they like come to you. But they come to you when you are still. They come to you, and masculines, that does not mean you don't do anything. That just means that you come from a very grounded, still, balanced place internally. And feminines, if you're trying to rush this masculine, like maybe you have a lot of fire in your chart or something, and you're like, hurry up, hurry up. If you have that, you need to ground your energy and just trust that they will come to you. If you sit there with your hand open in the food, right? Maybe you're both like foodies or something. So it's like, sit there with grace and they will come to you. They will come to you when they are ready. And there is something so fulfilling. If you've ever fed a wild animal out of your bare hand, there's nothing more fulfilling than that. Like, it's like, I am a fairy princess. Like, I attracted the birds in. So yeah, hopefully there was something in here for you. I really love this connection. I love how healing and sweet and tender it's going to be for you. Because I feel like it's been a really long, arduous journey for you, and you deserve this. So claim it. I deserve this love. This love is here. This love, I'm calling this love in. Whatever affirmation works that really hits home for bringing this love to you, confirm it, claim it, comment it down below if you feel called to do so, but definitely write it down, speak it out, and make it a reality, because that's what the magician does. You make it a reality. You alchemize it from the throat chakra, okay? Or don't, free will. But either way, thank you for being here. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate any ways that you've supported this space by just being here, liking, sharing, subscribing, donating. It's all so appreciated. It allows me to continue to do this work. And hopefully this is shifting some things in the collective so we can bring these unions together, because the world needs it. The collective needs this type of love. All right? So until next time, I wish you well.